Wealth. My name is Wealth Aladiton Wolabi, and I'm a project manager. Well, there are so many titles that goes with what I do. I'm also an agile delivery manager and also an IT project manager. Because most of these companies kind of kind of give some of these roles similar names, and then the job responsibility cuts across. So today we're going to look at project management, introduction to project management. And also, we'll be looking at agile delivery manager's role and also agile project manager's role. Okay. Because today, everywhere you go to, when you say project manager, it cuts across every sector. As in every sector, everybody needs a project manager. The hospitals, the banks, financial institutions, insurance companies, even gaming companies, bet, whatever you want to call it. Everybody, schools, primary, secondary, local governments, councils, parliament, tourism, everybody needs project managers. Okay, so it's now something that people can't do without. They simply can't do without it. Companies are now evolving, even companies that never embraced project management, now they are doing so because they've come to see the importance of it. I had a discussion with the VP of an American company a few weeks back, and I asked her, I said, what are the challenges that your company is currently going through that you really will need someone to come in and, fill up? And one of the challenges that she did mention was transitioning from the traditional project management into the agile project management, that the team doesn't seem to grasp what is happening. And she really needs help with it. So I'm just saying that to let you understand that several companies out there, they have challenges. Some companies want to go into digital transformation. Okay, they want to move their business from the legacy system. They want to move into more technologically focused business, and they just want to move from manual to digital. They need professionals to help them run through this, and that is where the project manager comes in. Now, there are different roles. As you continue with this free training, you will get to understand different roles and what they do, what their responsibilities are. You will now see where you fit in, okay? Because you need to understand where you fit in to be able to take advantage of these different roles. There are some people, they are shy, they don't like to talk, but when you give them a system, they can do wonders with those systems. Maybe they want to become data analysts, they can analyze figures, they can bring out meaning from data and interpret them. Fine. If you're such, we've got space for you. And there are some people that they sure love to explain and talk and talk. In fact, their their issue is that they want to ensure that you understand what the business asks it or whatever it is that they're doing, whatever objective that they've set. They will ensure that they break it down, make you to understand them. And if those things are quite technical, they will break down those technical terms into terms that a layman will understand and be able to interpret. Fine. Then you can say, oh, we have a business analyst here. So there are different roles, and within this space of time, you will get to understand some of them. But for today, I just want to focus on project management. So, like I said, I'm Well Taladito and a project manager. I had my first degree in chemical engineering, second degree in petroleum engineering from Newman University, Edinburgh, and then third degree, project management from De Montfort University with distinction. So I'm emphasizing that so that you will know that you're in safe hands. When you come to Citadel, you're dealing with professionals, okay? Not just people that just grabs training from somewhere and they're just putting you through. No, we are a bunch of professionals that knows what we're doing and we've been doing it. We have of course, we have results to show for that. So quickly, let me just give you a background of my story. So I used to be in engineering, yeah, oil and gas, several years. I've done decades in the oil and gas sector before I moved to UK. And understanding the way UK is unlike Nigeria, where uh, everybody just looking at crude oil and gas, and all that. But here, there's no big deal about oil and gas. No, no, no. I think IT is more, the big thing here, and tech generally. So you just need to. And I decided at all, how do I break into the tech industry? How do I, it's new to me. And I heard of Blue. In fact, I was even browsing, checking different platforms where I can learn it. I think I came across Deji's profile and then I rang him, please, this is what I want to do. I've got some students and we all want to come into this agile project management. Some want to become scrum masters, some want to become business analysts. And yeah, he said he's got a training platform that we could all come on board. And that's how we joined. We did the same training. He gave us free training, just like you're getting now. And after that, the form came. People filled the form. We all decided, oh, I'm going to be a scrum master. I want to be a business analyst. Different people just move into different sections. And the program started. We were introduced to live projects. Okay. We were introduced to different tools that we started using: Azure DevOps, Jira, Trello. So as time goes on, you get to understand some of these things. And then it was fun, dealing with live projects. Because one thing in UK and all over the world is people want to know what your experience you're bringing to the table. Okay. When they interview you, what experience are you bringing in? And if you don't have those experience, there's no way you can easily tell when you're being interviewed. If you don't have hands-on experience, definitely somebody will know. So that helped us with those projects. We were able to master so many things, understand the terminology, that the tech industry uses, and some of the tools, we got to understand them. And also, we did a interview preps. They looked at our CV. They helped us to reconfigure our CV. We did interview prep, in case some of us were having interviews, then they would sit you down. This is okay. They will ask you questions. When you answer those questions, they say, okay, you did well. Now, but this is the best way to go about it. And then we learned. And before you know it, people started getting jobs. People started getting, in fact, my first job that I got was as a senior IT project manager. You can imagine, with an American company, as in from engineering, starts with BlueSky. And after I've done so many interviews, and with so many unfortunate response and all that, eventually it paid off. Because the point is, when you do these interviews and you keep getting response, you will go back and then what is wrong? Maybe you've been to the first stage, you were unable to get to the second stage. We've got a team that will look into your CV and then discuss with you to understand what your issue is. And then they will now give you recommendations that you will go through. And then that's how it happened. So eventually, I landed my first job as a senior IT project manager. And it was beautiful because most of the things that I've learned, in fact, when I'm talking in the meeting, they will think, oh, this guy has been there like 15, 20 years in project management. Don't think that I barely did 2 years. So I've been on this platform now for, I would say, 3 years plus, and it's been beautiful. Okay, it's been awesome. There's so many things that I've learned. In fact, 90% of all the things that I've learned from this platform. And then we graduated. We moved to the advanced class. Advanced class is also another world of it. So where you meet with professionals, as seen, there's no problem that people don't solve. We are all working. we are still on the advanced class. We just bring ideas from all our workplace. We discuss with the young ones, let them know what is happening. So they are prepared. They have speed on their part. When you talk to people that are in Blue Sky, you discuss with them, you would think you're talking to people that have been in the IT industry for 15, 20 years. But some of them are barely there months. Some 6 months, 9 months, some the first 3 months, like the interview prep that we did a while ago for the last set. You they barely did 3 months. And you can see when I asked them questions, how they were answering those questions. It tells that they've been through a good, training platform. So that's what you're being introduced to, and that's just my story. And there's so many other people also with different stories that as you ride along, they will share those stories with you, and you'll get to appreciate it more. So I think that's it from my own side. Like I said, we will go through introduction to project management, and also I'm just trying to share my screen. If you can see my screen, let me know. Can you see my screen, please? Yeah. Today, I'll be putting you through project management, introduction to project management, and also discussing the Agile Delivery Manager's role and the Agile Project Manager's role. Now, I would like you to participate because I want to be as practical as possible. Because when we say project management, there's so many people that it's it's a term that people hear a lot, but they might just feel, oh, it's a complex term because, oh, we're just some big men that does project management, and they are the one they call project manager. But here we want to understand what project management is as a whole, and then the agile delivery manager's role, the agile project manager's role, what it entails, what they do, what their focus are. Those are the things that we want to look at. And then while we're looking at these, we'll also have like a team play. I'll be calling out names. I think I'll have like three of you because you're going to be discussing your own project management play. Okay, your project management play, as a project, the latest project that you've involved in, and how some of these details that I will be sharing today, how it aligns, how it conforms with what you've done in your own personal life, because life itself is a project. Everything that you do is a project. Okay, every single thing that you do. You want to go to school, it's a project. You're going to the market, it's a project. You want to go to church on Sunday, it's a project. You want to go to the mosque, it's a project. Whatever you're doing, every single thing that you do, okay, there's an aspect to it that you can bring out and say, oh, this is project related. Some of the features in project management can be found in these also. For example, let's say for this training program, okay, for this training program now, let me ask Adekunle. Adekunle, can you hear me? Hello. Hi, Adekunle.
Hello.
Yes. Please, I will need your help now, okay? Let's talk.
Okay.
Okay. Now, before this program, before today, let's say from last week, you've been preparing for this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now tell me, from the first day that you heard of this free training, what were the steps that you took to ensure that today became a success? That you are logged on, you've got a laptop, you are in a comfortable environment, and you're able to log on to this. What were the steps that you took from the very first time that you heard of this program to prepare yourself for this? I want you to state them. Just state, I did this, then I now did this, because of this and I did this, because I know I will need this, I decided to do this. Just state them until this point that you're not logged in.
Okay. The first step that I made was I tried to make a finding from one of my colleagues, which is a member of the Blue Sky uh, academic, to know
Okay.
what the Citadel is all about, what they do, how do they help. Then after that, when he gave me the elaborate definition of Blue Sky,
Yeah,
then I go onto the platform to register.
that's two. Yes.
To register. Then after then, I went through the platform to know what their courses is all about, what is all entails, and get myself prepared towards the week that the program started.
Okay. So what are the tools that you prepared with to be able to join this training today?
Well, I I log into my system that as in my laptop, then being connected to the WhatsApp group.
Good. Before you logged in, what did you do to enable you to be able to log in?
I've said it earlier, I register. I
Yes.
have to
After you
sign in. I
registered,
have to sign
did you
in.
get, okay, were you able to get a power source for logging in? Was there power supply?
Yeah,
Okay, so that means you've planned that, oh, there's power supply for me to be able to log in. What about internet?
yeah, it is.
You see, you can see that I'm bringing out things down that you jumped. Okay,
Okay.
now that is the mind of a project manager working. Okay, the first thing you did was requirement gathering. You gathered information. What is it about this project? What is it about this training that I need? Okay, and then you asked questions and they gave you feedback. And with those feedback, you were able to now make plans that, oh, I'm going to join this. If I'm going to join it, I'll need a laptop. I'll need an internet. Do you get it?
Yeah,
I'll need a comfortable environment to sit. You see all the different plans, how it goes. And then you now sat down and you logged in. That is a project because you planned it on its own. You can write a full note on it. Do you get it? Even
yeah.
so, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Let's move on to 𝐂𝐻𝐍𝐶𝐄𝐓. Hi, 𝐂𝐻𝐶𝐄𝐓. Hello. Hi, 𝐂𝐻𝐶𝐄𝐓. Is 𝐂𝐻𝐶𝐄𝐓 with us? Okay, I need a lady now. Uh, I need a lady. Let's see. I can't see all the different lists. Can anyone just volunteer? Don't worry. It's just a simple, yeah, it's a simple day-to-day stuff that you do. Maybe let's just discuss going to the market, going to shopping, because you're shopping now.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, hi, 𝐂𝐻𝐶𝐄𝐓. I actually thought
Uh,
it's a lady. Don't
sorry,
mind.
it's a me using a female laptop.
Oh, don't worry. No, I need a lady. I need a lady. I think was there a Margaret?
Okay, I'll give it a go.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, this is your task. Now, who's talking? What's your name, please?
Aya.
Ayo, bless you. Now, Ayo, tell me, the last time you went to the market, okay?
Okay.
Or maybe shopping, you went to the mall or you went to the market, whichever, is just about shopping.
Okay.
A day before that shopping, what did you do in order for you to plan for that shopping?
Okay. I wrote a list of things I'll be needing.
Okay,
Then I went on the website to see which of the products or which of the supermarkets is cheaper.
okay,
Then I went to the store.
okay. How did you get to the store?
I drove to the store.
In order for you to drive,
I made sure that I had petrol.
beautiful. You check the
And
road, okay, the
yeah,
weather is okay, traffic good,
yes.
and
Yeah.
then you now move to the mall. Now, when you got to the mall, what did you do?
I brought out my list
Okay,
and I started no, firstly, I took a basket.
good.
I took a basket. I brought out my list and I started shopping.
Okay. And after that?
Then after that, I went onto the till, loaded onto the till, then paid the cashier.
So that means before you got there, you ensure that you had your card with you.
Yes, my
You
card
ensured
was.
that there was money in your account.
Yes.
You see preparation, planning. Good. Go on.
Then I made sure I didn't exceed my budget. Okay. Then loaded the items on the trolley, on the conveyor belt.
Yeah.
Paid the cashier, loaded onto the trolley.
Good.
Wheeled to the car, loaded my car, then pushed back the trolley to the trolley center.
Okay.
Got into my car, started the engine, and drove off.
Beautiful. Now, for everyone, I want you to tell me something different about the way she listed all that she did. You know, before this program, if I had asked her, for your shopping, what did you do? You know, she would have said, oh, well, I just went to the mall, I bought some stuff, and I came back, right? But in between those two steps, you can see all the different steps that she listed, how she broke it down into different phases. That's how project management is. There are phases to a project that you need to understand. Every phase is quite important. You don't miss it out. There are details there that we need to follow for the success of any project. Okay, that's the point I just want us to understand. You can see that even the way you think, we've not even started. The way you, if I'm to ask the third person now, okay, about maybe the last time you visited an hospital, how did it go? Can you break it down? You will be surprised how they will analyze everything, all the different steps. Why? Because you're not thinking in a different way. Okay? So let's quickly, I just want you to understand that everything that we do is project related. Okay? And that's going to help you in so many things that you will be learning within this platform. So thank you very much, Ayo, and thank you very much for those inputs. Let's quickly go through our slide for today. We're looking at introduction to project management, agile delivery manager, and agile project manager. So I've given my name. This is BlueSky. So what is project management? I'll give the definition. What's the purpose? What are the key characteristics of a project? Which is part of some of the things that we've discussed while we were giving those examples. The definition. Project management is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities in order to meet the project requirements. Because there are requirements that need to be met. So as a project manager, you need to bring in your knowledge, apply your skills, use some tools and techniques to those project activities in order to meet those requirements. That's basically what project management is. Now, the purpose. What's the purpose? Because we have goals that we want to achieve. We want to achieve specific goals within defined constraints. Now, those goals might be as simple as we want to build a school. Okay, maybe your local council says, oh, Mr. John, you need to come build us a school. As a project manager, there are questions you start asking because that's the goal. But within this goal, there are defined constraints, which are scope, time, cost, quality. And then you will not say, oh, you want us to build a school. What is the scope? How big do you want the school to be? How many students are we looking at? And then they'll say, okay, we're looking at 1,000 students. So how many classes? Is it junior class? Is it senior? Or it cuts across from elementary, nursery up to primary? How is it? Those are questions that the project manager will start asking. And then time. When do you want us to deliver this? And then they'll say, oh, well, within this budget here, we need it done in the next 24 months. Okay, fine. So then we talk about cost. What is going to cost us? Because I'm going to look at what you want us to do. I'm going to look at the size. I'm going to look at the materials that will be used. I'm going to look at the resources. Okay, how many people will be required to get this done? What kind of quality are we looking at? So all those things will come into play. And then the key characteristics of a project. A project can be temporary. It has unique output and progressive elaboration, because it will keep going on, and it will keep expanding depending on what the requirements are, depending on changing, it might just be changing needs. The person that wanted a school today, you've built him a school, will come back tomorrow and say, oh, we need to add a secondary to it. Oh, we need to add a college to it. Okay, so it's increasing. So why is it important? Why is project management important? Because it helps us to ensure successful delivery. And it also optimizes, it helps to optimize the use of resources. And it will also help us to manage risk. Risk is a very important part of project management. You need to be able to analyze your risk. You need to be able to identify your risk. When you identify them, you'll be able to manage them properly. You'll be able to assess those risks, understand how those risks will affect the project, and then you make plans. It's like saying you want to build a block of flats. There will be cement, there will be bricks, and then you just start building without even assessing any risk at all. What happens when it starts raining and you've got your cement all mixed up and you don't have a covering for it? That will happen to a project manager that hasn't taken good risk management, hasn't done his risk analysis properly. Okay, so let's move on. Now, the core concepts in project management. What are the core concepts in project management? We often call it the triple constraint. Okay, the project management triangle. That's scope, time, and cost. For the scope, what needs to be done? What is the task that we want to do? That's the scope. What is it that you want us to do? You want us to develop a software. You want us to migrate you want us to migrate a particular, maybe you want to migrate from a particular software to a different one, or it might just be something as simple as creating an ERP for a particular company. Maybe they've been into the old school and now they said, oh, we need a system that can integrate all the different departments, where finance team will be together, will be here, and then the HR will be here, marketing team. No, we have a platform that can integrate every one of them together. Enterprise resource planning. Or it might just be as simple as maybe a university, okay, and then they want to create a data platform for all their students where they can monitor departmentally. So scope is what needs to be done. And then time. When do you need it done? Do you want it in 2 months, 6 months, 24 months? It depends. Okay? And then the cost. How much will it cost? We'll start looking at all the things that are required. How many people are required? What are the tools that we're going to use? And then we bring all these together to discuss how much it's going to cost. You want me to do this? This is what it's going to cost you. So there are other ways of determining the cost. That's a different discussion entirely. When you have a particular project, you want to ask, okay, how will you determine the cost of this? You can do it the agile way. You can do it the traditional way. There are different ways. So as you advance in project management, you get to understand all this. But for now, look at the triple constraint in project management, okay, and say the project management triangle. That's what I want you to understand, to remember, which is scope, time, and costs. And then some of these change, some of these can be changed. When I mean, as in you can I don't want to use the word rob Peter to pay Paul, but there are times where you need to adjust some of this. Like if you're to handle this project for 12 months, and then suddenly they get back to you and say, oh, we are very sorry. The president they want to how do they say this now? They just want to, approve the project. They want to display it to the whole world to see, okay, and then to tell them that their government is doing something, and then they will now do an inaugural meeting and say, okay, fine, this project is completed. And they say you're only given 9 months instead of the 12 months. So that means the time is short now. So how do you do it? How do you manage this? If the time is short, then definitely you will start looking at what can we adjust? Is it the scope that we need to adjust in order to meet up with this timeline? Is it the cost? Okay? Because if you want me to do 12 months job in 9 months, definitely it means I have got to be faster. So I'll need more people to do it. So the cost will change. So you can see how they affect one another. Then other key areas, quality, the quality of the job, then the resources, people that are required, what are required, then the risk involved, then communication also, stakeholders, the people, that matters. Maybe the government, people that gave you the contract, your top management in your own company, all these people are stakeholders. And then procurement, buying this, buying that, and all those stuffs. So those are part of the core concepts in project management: scope, time, cost, quality. You can also add resources and risk to it. But the major three: scope, time, and cost. I hope you all can hear me, please. Hello?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
we can.
Okay, thank you. So let's move on. Now, the traditional project life cycle. We're talking about the different phases. Remember when Ayo was talking, she talked about how she moved from one point to the other, the preparation that she made when she got to the store, how she went for the basket. From the basket, she started picking all her stuffs. From picking all her stuff, she went to the till, brought out her card and sure the card was loaded with money and sure she's not going beyond her budget. All these are phases in what she did. So the same way, in traditional project life cycle, there are different phases. And some of those phases are listed here. We have the initiation phase. When you have a project, the first part is the initiation phase. The example of the building that I gave, let's say you're building a primary school. Okay? So during the initiation phase, we need to define the project, what the objectives are, and the feasibility. How many students are we looking at? What sort of classes do they want? How many classes do we want to build? What are the kind of materials that we will need for it? Do they want to use bricks, red bricks, or they just want to use the normal whole blocks? So all these need to come in during the initiation phase. And when you're done with this, you will now go into planning, which is the next phase. During your planning phase, you will develop a detailed roadmap how to get this done. Okay? How do we get this done? For example, I can say first, the tipper will bring the sand, the cement contractor will bring the cement into the store, and then from the store, the bricklayers will go there, pick up the cement, bring it to the sand, mix this. There will be water in a particular drum, and then, however they want to do it, all those are stuff that will be used, and then it will be mixed. The bricks will be molded, done, hardened, and then we start arranging. But before you do that, you need to dig your foundation, cast it, do all those stuffs. So all those things need to be seen in your detailed roadmap. What are the tasks? What are the resources? Different people that will be working, all the different roles. Then the schedule. How are you, assigning time to it? Oh, we want to do the casting. Casting must take 2 weeks. Now you that is time into it. And within this casting, you know how many cement will go in, how many blocks, how many granite, whatever it is, and what is the cost, movement of all the different trucks, trailers, tippers, everything. So the budget needs to go in play. The schedule, the timing, how long is it going to take? Every phase, you need to put a time to it. And then once you have all those details documented, then the execution now will start carrying out what we've already planned. Okay, so the execution phase is carrying out the planned work. You see how these are being broken down. And then while you're carrying out this job, there's also monitoring and control. You need to start tracking what is being done. The bricklayers are working. It's been agreed that one bag of cement should be able to mold 80 blocks. You need to be sure that they're doing that and not that they're using one bag to only make 40, because that's going to affect your cost eventually. So you need to start tracking the progress of the project. And then you start managing changes. Maybe while you are working, there are some things that will start happening. Maybe it started raining and you don't want those cement to get wet. Then you start planning. Then you must have planned for covering, maybe like a mini roof. And you tell them, please bring the tarpaulin, okay, cover this part. We don't want this to get wet. Now, those are different changes that comes into the project as you're working. It might just be that maybe one of your team lead became sick. Then you need to get somebody else because the work must continue. So monitoring and control, you track the progress. There are tools to track progress. There are KPIs that you need to set in order for you to know how the team is, how they are working, and then how whatever they are doing, okay, how it will eventually lead to what you already have in your planning phase. Okay? You need to be sure that whatever they're doing goes in line with the objectives of the project. Okay, are we meeting the project objectives? And if we are not, you make changes, ensuring alignment with the plan. So that's the monitoring and control phase. And then when you're done eventually with the project, there's closure part, formal completion, handover. Before you do that, what are the lessons learned? While we were doing this, we observed that this happened. Oh, we've learned the lessons. You need to document all those lessons for future purpose. So that when you're doing another project, you can look back and say, oh, while we were doing this, these are the lessons we learned. So we don't want to make those mistakes again. Okay? Maybe you bought cement for 6,000 a bag, and you knew that you were going to use 10,000 bags, but you decided to buy 2,000 first. And before you know it, the next 3 weeks, the price went up by 40%. That's already affecting your cost. So you say, lessons learned. I should have bought all the 10,000, and all we had to do was to store it. Storage. Lessons learned. So you see how, and all this, you have meetings where you discuss all this. So let's move to the next. Transitioning to agile and adaptive approaches. Now, In project management as a whole, we have the traditional project management, which is more of what I've just discussed when I use the building a house concept, okay? And you have all the different phases, initiation phase, planning, execution, monitoring, and then project closure. That's more of a traditional project management life cycle. Okay, we also have the agile project management, which is adaptive in approach. And that's where you see all this software development, maybe your mobile app, okay? That's all those falls within the agile project management, which is quite interesting. And most companies now, they are transitioning to this agile project management everywhere. The bank, the institutions, government, everywhere you go to, automobiles, everywhere, they're all moving to agile project management. Okay, so transitioning now to agile and adaptive approaches. Limitations of traditional project management. In high uncertainty, rapidly changing environments, rigid plans can also hinder progress because in the example that I gave before, those plans are rigid. Okay, we have different phases that you just move from one phase to the other, from this phase to this, from this to this, So they can be so rigid, and it kind of hinders progress in the sense that when you want to bring in new things, it cannot accommodate it. It's either you tear it down to now build something new. But in Agile, it's not like that. Agile is just beautiful in the sense that it's iterative. Okay? You just build along. And if there's any change that is required, you come into it, discuss it. Even when the project has gone far, you can bring those changes into the project. And then you'll still find something beautiful. I'll give an example of how somebody explained the agile. I did mention the school that was built. Now imagine if you're to use agile for that, which people don't, but I just want you to have a picture. If you're to use agile in order to manage the different changes that will happen, because what agile does is that it will start the project little, and then as it increases, iteratively, they bring in those changes from one level to the other, from one level to the other. Whatever change that is required, it comes in, we'll look at it. What is it that we've done? What is it that needs to be done? Is there any mistake? We'll look at it again, put those mistakes back to the backlog, and then the next sprint will implement whatever those changes are. Let me not say mistake, whatever those changes are. Okay. Now, can you imagine someone that wants to build a 4-bedroom duplex? Okay. And what they did first was to start with their kitchen. They just built a kitchen and they roofed the kitchen. In that kitchen, everything is in there. You've got your tap, you've got everything. And then they decided that, oh, I need an extra room to this house. Then they added one extra room again. Oh, I think I want it to be 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom. Then they started adding the next. Oh no, this new bedroom, I need it bigger. They extended it. So you can see how it moves. From just the kitchen, they added one room. From just one room, they made it 3 rooms. From the 3 rooms, they added the decking to the roof. From that decking, they built whatever is on it. I'm just creating a picture because that example kind of helped to grasp the agile concept and how it differs to the traditional project management. So looking at the transitioning to agile and adaptive approaches, the emergence of agile, which is actually a response to the need for greater flexibility, responsiveness, and continuous value delivery. That's the word, continuous value delivery. That's what agile does. It delivers value continuously from one level to the other. You will get to understand as we move on. Then there's also a shift in project leadership. The agile changes how projects are managed, leading to evolving roles beyond the traditional project manager. Now, some of the roles that you will come across in agile project management is the Scrum Master, the quality assurance, the QA. They call them the testers. They are the one that will test whatever the developers have done. Then we have the developers. Those are the guys with the code and everything. Then we have the business analyst. Okay, so how every one of them work together. I'll give you an example. Assuming I say we want to build a website, I need a team for us to build a website. That is the project that we need to do now. I'm going to get a Scrum Master. I'm going to get a business analyst. I'm going to get a product owner. I'm going to get a set of testers, QA as they call them, and then developers also. Now, there are more, but let's just focus on just this little team that I've called. And then I'll say, I want to build a website. And then the product owner will be from, let's say the product owner is from the company that wants to build the website. And then the product owner will now explain all they want to do. Oh, we need our website to be like this. We need the front page to be like this. We need it to have this, to have this. So all those features, what they want, they will put everything as a requirement into the product backlog. Then the business analyst will now come, understand what they have there. The business analyst will understand what is it that they want to put into that website. She will now use her language to write what they call user stories in order to communicate to the developers and say, see, this is what these people they want. They want, if you go to their website, when you click this, you should be able to log in using this and this. So it is the business analyst that will explain in her own language, using the user story to communicate to the developers. So the developer will now say, okay, yeah, I get what you've written now. Now, from this, your user story, I'm going to develop this, and he will now work. Now, when it's done, the testers will now come. Let me test what you have done. If it's actually what they said they wanted, because there will now be what they call acceptance criteria. So the tester will now test it. And if it doesn't tally, he will now say, oh, please, there's something wrong here. He will raise a bug, and then the developer will now correct that. So when it is done, they will now move that product. You can now go and check it. Okay, they will now test, after it's been tested, there will be a UAT done on it, and then they will now release that particular feature. So, oh, we've released the first page. This is how the page is. This is our MVP, minimum viable product. And if you want, then that's okay. The next thing we want now is underneath that page, we want you to have what we call by the footer. We want you to put the email. We want you to now put the maybe things like you want to look at their social media platform. We want to see our Facebook, our Twitter, Instagram. We want all these there. And then the business analyst will also go on and write the user stories, communicate with the developers will do their job, send it over to the testers will test it. If it's okay, then it moves to the next stage. Now, that is how beautiful the Agile project management team works. Some of them are called the Scrum team. Then the Scrum Master is the one that manages the whole team. He will just be looking at it and say, oh, okay, developer, now that you're doing this, is there any problem? Do you have any issue? Oh, developer will say, oh, yes, my system is having this issue, is having that. Please, can you help out with this? So the Scrum Master will move and ensure that that thing is resolved. And when the team, they're having their Scrum meetings, the Scrum Master also ensure that nobody disturbs them. Everybody works according to plan, and they get whatever is it that they need. And if they have any problem, he escalates, he resolves it. That's what they say. He's taking care of impediments. That's what the Scrum Master does. Okay? He's like a servant leader. He's just there, ensuring they have their meeting, ensuring that the meeting is time boxed. If it's 15 minutes, he ensures that you don't go beyond those 15 minutes. So that's what the Scrum Master does. You can see now that I've mentioned the Scrum Master, the business analyst, the product owner, the developer, the testers. You see, all these people work together as a team. And you're going to be seeing them in live projects in BlueSky. We have several projects, and as all these projects are going on, every one of these people are working. And you will get to see, as you see it, you get to understand where your passion lies. Very soon, there's going to be another part. Maybe a business analyst will come and discuss with you, and the developer will come, the testers will come, and then you will get to appreciate all these people and their roles. And then you will see where your passion falls in. Let's move on. So the evolving roles in agile environment, the agile team structure. There's something about the structure of the agile team. It's self-organizing. They work, everything that they require is just within the team. They are self-organizing. They can work without any top management chasing them around. No, they don't need all that. They do that. They know what they're doing. They are self-motivated. And they're also cross-functional teams, meaning they have different functions. And just like I mentioned, the Scrum Master is working, the business analyst is working, the testers are working, the developers are working. It's a cross-functional teams. And they have their meetings regularly. They have what they call the daily stand-ups. Like in my company, my daily stand-up is every 15 minutes in the morning from 9 to 9:15. Once we log on, everybody is on there. And then I'll call, yeah, Scrum Master, okay, for today, let the developer just tell us where they are, what they've done, and if they have any issue, they raise it, and then we'll pick it up from there. So, and then we also have meetings that we call the sprint planning. We want to plan the sprint. We have the sprint review. We have retrospective. So all these are terms that you will get to understand later when you go deep into the agile project management. Then there are distributed responsibilities, like I've mentioned, different functions, different job roles, everybody doing their task. Introduction to specialized roles. Now, I will just quickly look at the ADM and the APM. That's the Agile Delivery Manager and the Agile Project Manager. Now, within my job, I kind of mix both together because my role involves doing the work of both of them, if you get what I mean. Okay, so when we get there, I will explain some of these. Now, why they emerged. The reason why they emerged is simply to support the agile principles and scale agile practices within the organizations. That's why we have the ADM, the APM. In order for them to support the agile principle and ensure that the team, they are working within the dictates of the agile principle, because there are what we call agile principles. You will get to see these agile principles way later. There are I think about 12 of them. But for now, we are discussing project management. So I don't want to go deep into agile. I just want to cap everything up under project management. Now, the ADM. The core focus, for the ADM is that he facilitates the delivery process. The ADM is more interested in the delivery process. He removes impediments and also optimizes the flow of value within and across all the teams. Like I manage I manage 3 teams, okay? But there are times where you'll be expected to manage like 5, 6. Each team, they're doing their thing. So as an ADM, you need to be able to manage the process of delivery. You need to be able to track the delivery process and not only track the team, also track the project and also track the risk, because there are risks that will be discussed. And then the stakeholders want to know the risk that was highlighted. What are we doing about them? What is the state? So the risk status will continuously be followed up, managed, discussed, and then you need to pass it on to the stakeholders to understand where you are with the status of the risk. Oh, has it been taken care of? Has it been managed? Has it been mitigated? They want to know. Then for the project, where are we? Is the project on, when it comes to cost, are we in line? When it comes to time, are we out or we are in? Are we going to beat the time? So all these are things that the delivery manager focuses on and optimizes the flow of value within and across the teams. So what are his key responsibilities? He coaches, he mentors the team, okay, in agile principles and the practices, and then he ensures effective use of the agile frameworks. Talking about the Scrum, the Kanban. Now, these are also terms that you will get to understand very soon. Because after a while, some of you want to become a Scrum Master, some want to become, a developer, business analyst, data analyst, QA, okay? And then you want to understand what the Scrum team is all about. And then the Agile framework, what is the difference between the Scrum, the Kanban, So you will get all this. They're all part of the package. Now, part of his responsibility is shielding the delivery team from external distractions. Because while they are working, they don't want to be distracted. So he ensures that those distractions don't come into play. And he also manages dependencies and then risk at the delivery level. Dependencies. What are dependencies? Okay, things that the project depends on, or a particular team depends on another team to get something done. Maybe the developer depends on some of the IT team to be able to work on some of the apps on their system. Okay, maybe they want to use a particular plugin. He needs someone to get that done. So you would definitely depend on someone to get something done for you. Just like the building that I did mention. Okay, so the bricklayer, the bricklayer, or will I say the mason now, someone that lays the block will definitely depend on someone that brings in the cement in order for him to get his job done because he can't do everything. So you will depend on someone. So that means for you to get those cement plastered, you need someone to have prepared the cement slurry. Okay, so you depend on whoever is mixing those slurries to get it over to you, and then you get your job done. So part of their responsibility is also fostering a culture of continuous improvement and learning. We're always learning. Okay, we're always learning. That's the beautiful thing about this platform. You have different tasks that will be coming every day. There will be different challenges, and as they come, we sit together, we discuss them, we brainstorm, and then solutions are provided. And then in order for us to provide those solutions, we might need to go learn some more. You need to learn how to use some tools. You need to learn how to understand some of the key principles. You need to read some reports. You need to read about some project. You need to look back into some archive of past projects, some of the things that they did, or some of the action points. So there's room for continuous improvement and continuous learning. And then reporting on delivery progress also is part of what the Agile delivery manager does. He reports on delivery progress and then the team's health. So that's for the ADM, okay? And then, you see, sometimes the ADM in some companies at times, they will tell you, because like there was a job that I did interview for, they said they needed an ADM, but everything they wrote on the job spec was basically a Scrum Master's job. They want someone that can facilitate Scrum meetings. They want someone that can manage sprint planning, someone that can manage daily stand-up, someone that can facilitate Scrum retrospective, someone that can work with the business analyst or the product owner to manage the product backlog. You see all these terms that I'm listing now, you will get to understand them very soon because these are terms within project management, within agile project management that you will get to familiarize yourself with so that when you're being interviewed and you're talking from this part, and you're talking and bringing in all these buzzwords, they will know that you've been somewhere. They will know that you've interfaced with these tools, with this system. They will know, okay, this person understands what he's saying. So, fostering a culture of continuous improvement learning and then reporting on delivery, progress, and team health. Quickly, the APM now, the Agile Project Manager. The first one was the Agile Delivery Manager. And then now we're talking about the Agile Project Manager. Okay, so there's just a slight difference there. Slight difference. And in some companies, they will give one person, say, just do both, because they don't want to pay for two different persons. So they just kind of combine the roles together. But at least you should be able to pick one or two differences there. So the core focus for an APM is overseeing the strategic project vision and then managing overall project scope, budget, and then stakeholder relationship in an agile context. He deals with the strategic project vision and then project scope, budget, and then stakeholders relationship. Now, key responsibilities. Defining and communicating project goals and objectives. Now, he does this with the product owner or the project sponsor. In some companies, they call them the project sponsors. Some companies say, oh, it is the product owner that handles this. And then in some companies, they call them the voice of the customer. Yeah, I got to know that from one of the companies that I had a chat with recently. When I was talking about product owner, I said, oh, yeah, that's the voice of the customer. I said, we get to see different things every day. So managing project level risk and issues. Those are part of what the APM does. Now you can see that this time he's dealing with the project level now, the risk and issues there. Then resource planning, who does what. So if you're lacking in resources, they can quickly say, oh, maybe you need an extra tester. Yeah, he chases that up to ensure that you get one. And then stakeholders communication and then expectation management. As much as the ADM also discuss with the stakeholders, but in a true agile setting, the agile project manager handles most of the stakeholders communication. And then ensuring alignment of the project with the organizational strategy. Ensuring that as the project goes on, the project processes and everything, does it align with the organizational strategy? He ensures that they don't go out of scope. He ensures that they don't go out of alignment. That's part of what he does. And then bridging the gap between the agile execution and broader organizational governance. Strategic thinker, he's a strategic thinker, strong communicator, risk manager. When you are into project management, we are very big on risk management. We don't joke with it. You need to be able to create a risk register. And on your risk register, I should be able to see what risks are associated with this project. How are you managing this risk? What are their severity levels? Okay? And I want to see what is the status. Oh, it's been taken care of. Oh, there's a mitigation plan. Oh, we have a contingency plan for it. I want to see that. So that's part of what the project manager does. Okay. Now, just looking at both of them now, the ADM versus the APM, the key distinctions and how they both overlap. The Agile Delivery Manager primarily focuses on how the team how they deliver it, and then the process efficiency, and then the team dynamics. and day-to-day flow of work within the delivery pipeline. You see, he's more into the process of how the team deliver, while the agile project manager focuses on what is delivered, not the process. What is it that you are delivering? And then the overall project success, the business value. And then he also manages all the external factors. Maybe you have some, when it comes to some projects, you will need to discuss some external dependencies. Okay, maybe you have some regulatory issues that need to be taken care of. Yes, the agile project manager deals with those regulatory issues, and those are part of the external factors, and then ensure that they align strategically with the business goals. So you see the difference. One deals with the process of delivery, the other one deals with what is being delivered. That's the focus. Okay, so always remember that's just basically the difference on both of them. And then they both overlap, just like I told you. One person can actually do both, like I do. Okay, so I do both. Yeah. So then organizational context now, the exact responsibilities can vary greatly between organizations. Sometimes one role may encompass aspects of the other one. Just like I said, it happens and it is happening. So what are the benefits of specialized agile roles? What are the benefits? We've looked at the traditional project management, and then for the agile, what are the benefits? It enhances focus. There will be clearer responsibilities because the business analyst knows what he or she is doing, and how she explains the project ask to the developers. When I mean the project ask, what is it that you're asked to do? What is it? What are the objectives of the project? What are the requirements? The business analyst will split this down to a language that the developer will understand. So there will now be clearer responsibility within the team. The QA knows what to do. The business analyst knows what to do. The Scrum Master knows what he needs to do or she needs to do. And then this leads to improved delivery. The ADM optimizes the team performance and flow. So when you have everyone doing their task, there's improved delivery. And it becomes easy for you to monitor the progress, the performance of not just the team, of the project. While the ADM is looking at the team's performance, the APM is also ensuring that the project stays aligned with business objectives. And then there's better risk management because we need to come together during a project to identify all the risk involved in that project, analyze it, look at their severity, and then look at mitigation plans. And also see if there's any contingency plan for it. So with all this, it helps you to manage the project risk. And there's increased adaptability in the sense that while you're working, if anything needs to be changed, because the teams involved are self-managed and they understand the agile principles, so they know when to bring in these changes, they know when to even discover these changes. And when they do, it goes back into the product backlog. And then subsequent sprints, they bring it in and they effect those changes. Okay? You look at what you've done, and then you see if there's any change required, and then you adapt. And empowered teams. The teams have dedicated support for delivery challenges because they know that the ADM is there, or the senior Scrum Master or the Scrum Master is there. Whatever it is that whatever issue that comes up, they picked it up and it will be resolved. Just within the team. The Scrum Master picks it up. If it's the ADM in charge, the ADM from the delivery side of things handles whatever the challenges are. So you see that the team, they just keep producing results. Like that's why you see people love the agile environment because it's results oriented and they get things done just like that. They don't need to, it's unlike unlike the traditional project management side of things where it can be so complicated and um, there are so many bureaucracies that you need to look at, so many documentations and everything. But here things are simplified. Even the documentations are simplified. So what are the challenges and considerations for ADM and APM roles? Role clarity, like we've discussed, okay? Both of them, they overlap. There are times there can be ambiguity, but most companies don't even try to bring in both of them. Most companies will just bring one. If they have ADM, they won't even bother themselves with looking for an APM, okay? But for the sake of learning, we had to look at both of them because you don't know which industry you will find yourself. You should have the understanding that these roles can be splitted also. And then cultural shift. It requires organizational willingness to embrace new leadership models. So many companies are struggling, and so many they are in the transitional phase, transitioning from traditional project management into the agile project management. And then skill set. When you want to transition, there's a demand for a unique blend of agile knowledge. That means you need to be trained, okay, within the agile project management side of things. You need to understand the agile principles. So there must be an understanding, there must be some learning that needs to come into play in order for you to embrace it. And that is why you find out so many companies find it difficult because some people, they've been there for decades. They don't want to embrace it because it means they will now have to learn some stuff and unlearn their old ways. So it's kind of difficult, but we also manage them. That's why we are agile coach. We manage them. We let them understand that this is not difficult. We show them the reason why they have to adjust and the importance to the company and how it's going to help, to achieve the company set of objectives and how their role is so important to getting that done. So that's part of our job. And then scaling agile, challenges in implementing these roles effectively, okay, in very large, complex programs. You will get there soon where you will see some companies where they have, the agile that we're talking about, these companies, they have a very large scale where they have a large product line. We are not just talking of 5 teams, 7 teams working. Some they have more than 40 different teams working on different product line. So in such a case, you now need a higher level. That's what they call the scaling agile. Okay, so there's a different principle with that. But once you understand the primary one, you will be able to progress into the more complex side of things. So basically, that's part of the challenges that we face in organizations. Like in my company now, there are some people that have been there. They've been used to the traditional project management side of things, and it's quite difficult for them to embrace the agile way of working. So what we just do is to ensure that we have workshops regularly, to help them understand what this is all about. And we just keep managing them, keep training, keep teaching, keep coaching. And as we continue, yeah, most of them are getting a hang of it at the moment. Okay, so what's our last slide now? Conclusion and question and answer. Summary. Traditional project management provides a foundational understanding, like I've explained. And then the agile environment introduces specialized roles like the ADM, APM, Scrum Master, Business Analyst, QA, testers, brings them on. So ADM focuses on delivery efficiency, while the APM focuses on strategic project success. The choice and definition of these roles depend on project and organizational context. So the future of project management, we also have the hybrid approach. Basically, what the hybrid approach means is that you're trying to use both sides, both the traditional and the agile. You just merge them together. Some some principles from the agile, while some principles from the traditional project management. Okay, so I think that's where we'll wrap up today's presentation. Let's quickly look at some few questions from every one of you. I hope you all got the gist from this presentation. Hello, I need to hear you.
Yes, we did.
Thank you. And
Yes, we did.
𝐂𝐓𝐇, what about you? Oluwakemi 𝐂𝐓𝐇. Okay, so any question? While the presentation was going on, maybe there were some questions that came to your mind, or you wrote it down, or you were just wondering, or you need clarity on a particular point. Yeah, bring it on. That's why we're here. Okay? So question, Olusegun, Faith.
So I've got my hand raised there, so I don't know if I should just go ahead.
Okay.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you, please. Go on.
So the project management role or the agile role, it sounded like, being the boss or in charge of a project. My question is, does one have to be, is it knowledgeable about the various roles, like a Scrum Master, the BA, the DAs, before one can be a project manager or agile, I don't know, what do you call it, agile manager?
Okay. You want to know if you need knowledge of the BA, the Scrum Master, and all that before you can become an ADM or what, right?
Correct, yes. Or can one just go straight into it?
Yes, I would say. You see, as an ADM, it is expected that you will have some basic knowledge of what the Scrum Master does, what the BA does, QA, developers, product owner, you know, at least you have basic understanding of what they do. It doesn't mean that you have to be a developer. No, you don't have to be a tester, but you understand what a tester does because by associating with them, you're the one resolving impediments. You're the one escalating whatever concerns that they have. So over time, definitely you will know that when the tester says, oh, I'm having issues with this plugin, oh, I'm having this, I'm experiencing this delay with this API. So with the terms, you start investigating, oh, what is it? What is it? You will have an understanding of what they go through. So you just need basic knowledge. But it's also very helpful because it's your job. It is also very helpful when you take out time to go into details, as in get to understand what these things are. And at times, some roles, like while I was in no, like my journey in BlueSky, I started as a Scrum Master. Now, as a Scrum Master, moved to Senior Scrum Master, and from there I moved to an ADM. Do you get it? So while working as a Scrum Master, so many issues came up. I had to interact with the QA, get to understand some of their concerns, the developers, and within this time, even doing some interviews, getting some questions, bringing it back, your knowledge increases. So, yes, you need some basic understanding of what everybody does. That's why we're working as a team. And you are the one that will be responsible for the delivery process. You are the one that will be tracking the delivery process and also tracking the team performance. So you should have an understanding of them. But that doesn't mean that you'll be a specialist. You won't be a tester. You don't have to. You don't have to be a developer. I hope that helps.
Let me feedback on what you've said. So if I want to, as someone who is a novice, not in IT at all, because I don't work in IT and I'm in the health sector. So I want to come into this program and I'm choosing and I'm liking what you're saying about project management. So can I just go on and choose project management, or do I need to, like you said, getting some understanding first, maybe go do some Scrum mastering first,
No.
or before I now choose project management?
Okay. If you're liking project management, which is beautiful, I think on the platform, I don't know what the whole breakdown is, but I know we used to have project management as one, and then we also have ADM, we also have Scrum Master. Okay, but I'm not too sure now if they've splitted it or it's now together. But you can actually, if there's project management on the platform, on the list, yes, you can pick project management. And within that project management, it's going to be agile, because I know we also have the traditional side of things, but it's mostly agile that you'll be dealing with. So you can actually pick the agile one. And if it's the ADM that is there, because I know some people started with ADM, yes, you can also pick the ADM, because it depends on your focus. While you're picking the ADM, you'll be assigned to a team. And when you're being assigned to a team, that's where you now start making the mark. You start working when you're being assigned your project team. You need to work as a scrum master, even if there's a scrum master there. So there are so many things that you will do. So yes, you can pick the project management or you can pick the ADM. I think they have those divisions there. I think so. But Olawumi can clarify that, but I think they do. So it's something you don't need to now say, okay, you need to go and start from one and move to the other. No, but there are people that also wants to do two. They say, oh, I want to do Scrum Master and I also want to do Business Analyst. They will do one first, and when they are done, they'll move to the next. Yeah, it depends on them, depends on your interest. But just like you said, you're in the health sector, and I know health sector, they also have project managers. So it's going to be very helpful for you too. Help
For this
us.
cohort, it will be a combination of Scrum Mastery and PM,
Okay.
more leaning towards the Scrum Mastery side of things. Um, in the next cohort, we'll have pure project management. We don't have it all the time because of the number of people that goes for it. Because PM is actually a very senior type of role because you're the owner of that project from start to finish. That's from initiation stage to closing and even post closing. So it's actually a very, very big role. And we always try to make sure that we have the right numbers before we delve fully into project management. It's actually a very senior role, like I said, and it's always a bit cumbersome for people to delve into it. You heard, Wealth, for example, he went from SM to this, but for your real question, if I want to answer you one to one, the answer is yes, you can pick PM straight away and go for it. That's the truth. But just for reality, just for reality's sake, I'll tell you you can pick your PM, but during the course of this, you'll be doing PMSM sort of. Maybe, for example, if you're still staying with us for a longer time, you might now join probably the next batch that will do PM fully. But if you're going for PM role, you can go for PM role. What's just for clarity again, what Wealth is trying to explain to you is that not PM alone. If I am a BA, I should have an understanding of what a QA does, what an SM does. Because if I don't know their roles, how can I communicate properly with them and know their pain points or understand what they are telling me? So he's just trying to say you have little knowledge of all the roles, but it's not you cannot be a master in that role. So if I'm a BA, I'm going to focus on my BA and learn everything about BA. However, I listen in to chip in to know oh, okay, it's the Scrum Master that should be handling this. Oh, okay. Oh, so it's QA that will now test it. Okay. Oh, a developer is one that will develop the. Oh, okay. You need to have an understanding, but your role remains your role. You think of it in your normal current work or whatever you do. If you are working in maybe administrative, whatever, whoever is the admin person will be doing admin work. No, let me use a call center. If I'm a caller, I'll be the one making phone calls. If I have a supervisor, it's the supervisor I'll be reporting to and send out maybe phone calls that are more tedious to the person. If I'm working in the hospital, I'm a doctor. I do only doctor's work. It's the nurse that will probably give injections and other things and yada yada yada. I will focus on my job as a doctor. The nurse will focus on their job as a nurse. A nurse practitioner will do a nurse practitioner's job. The cleaner in the hospital will do the cleaning work. The cleaner cannot give injection. You understand? So everybody focuses on their own role. However, I know what a cleaner does as a doctor. Oh, the cleaner will clean the floor. I know what a nurse does. I'll tell the nurse, oh, go get these drugs, go do this. I know what the nurse is going to do. Oh, put IV on this person and add 2 millimeter of so. I can give those directions. I don't know if you get my gist. I just wanted to bring it home for everyone to understand. Any role you decide on amongst the 6 roles we have presented to you since Tuesday to date, because Monday was general for everything. However, day to day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So on Tuesday we did SM, Wednesday QA, Thursday DA, Friday we did BA, yesterday we did lightning, cybersecurity, and today is the last course, actually PM, right? So we've given you just an intro to the 6 roles. So this is where decisions needs to start being taken. Any role you pick, you can delve into it. What we're just trying to say is we want you to hear what other roles are doing so you have an understanding of how to make it. So if I need something within my team now, as a BA, I won't be going to ask the QA that QA, I need something. It's the SM I'll hold now because it's the SM that should remove my impediment. I don't know if you get what I mean. But also with time, I might actually need a QA for something that, oh, a QA, I need you to help confirm this, whether I will reach out to the QA because I know it's the QA's role to handle that. I hope you get the gist now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, allow me. So if you're okay with that, I think we can move to the next question.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Evening. Your name, please.
Aziz David.
Okay, bring it on.
Okay. I have 2 questions. The second, let me start from the second question, which she said that you guys have done introduction to every other 6 courses that was listed on the platform, like cybersecurity, QE, software testers, and today is for PA, but you guys have started before. I just saw the link for these things to today, so I choose to join since I have interest in it. But since they've done introduction to every other ones, I don't know. But the one I heard today, I like it. I have interest in it. But I don't know how I can get others that have been taught earlier or the introduction to QE, because I love QE, software testing per se, and I don't know if I can get introduction to that also. And for the first question I wanted to ask is, when you're talking about project management, you keep talking about, you keep calling the BA, the QA into it, and all of that. And you said project management can also work anywhere, like in the in the store, in hospital, in the NHS, and the likes. Anywhere you have a project management, does it mean you have a QA, you have a BA, you have a Chrome Masters to work on that same project?
Well, no.
Okay.
No, not everywhere there's a project that there will be a Scrum Master. Because when I started, I talked about the traditional project management, and within that, you really don't need a Scrum Master for that. The Scrum Master comes in within the Agile project management. It's when you're
Okay.
doing Agile, that's where this cross-functional team comes into play. Okay, it's just like in the construction industry now, you need a project manager there, and you
Mm-hmm.
won't have a Scrum Master there. You understand? So that's just it. It's not everywhere you have all the different teams that I've called, but within the agile project management, yes,
Okay.
you will have some of them.
Yeah. Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome.
And the second one, introduction to other rules.
Introduction
The
to
second
other
question,
rules.
Admin will take it. Davin, do you want to take it or Juliet? Okay, I'll take it. So
Sorry, apologies. I was trying to unmute. Hi. Yes. So to have access to the videos for the other sessions that were taken days ago, I would advise that you join the WhatsApp group that we have created for this 2-week free training cohort.
Yes,
So
I just joined it now.
Okay, so in an hour at the most, I'll reshare the links, so you should then have access to it. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we have that sorted. Any other question?
Yes, please.
Yes, we have Omi's hand up. I think
Okay.
yeah, Omi was first.
Omi, please, your question.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all the sessions. We're really grateful. I don't know. I just need advice, really. I've just finished my Prince 2 foundation and exam practitioner exams. I've just finished both of them. Then a friend gave me your contact. That's how I joined. So I don't know what help can I get, because I just have the knowledge, the head knowledge before I got to meet you guys. So I don't know if there's anything I can. I've been enjoying the courses, but I don't know if there's anything else I can get.
Okay, now for the Prince 2, have you done the exam?
Yeah, I've done both exams, the practitioner and the foundation.
Oh, that's good. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's a good start. So now what you need now is hands-on experience. You need to start dabbling into projects so you can now see how whatever it is that you've learned, how it relates to real life projects.
Yeah.
So
how do I get that? Sorry.
that's why we have all the different projects. I mean, all the different we have. I think that there are about six positions that you can join. If it's for the PM, if it's for the ADM, when you come on board, okay? Because what we're doing is we're just throwing out this free training to expose you to all the different roles, and then you will know which one you really desire, which one fits into your profile, and then you can now say, okay, I want to be a Scrum Master, and then you can hop onto the project, join from the platform, get registered, and then because when you now get registered, that's when you start having some one-on-one discussion with your mentor. You'll be assigned mentors. There will be mentors that you can call on to and say, oh, please look at my CV. I'm having an interview. So this, oh, please, can we discuss this? Because they've been there, so they will understand what you're going through and know how to help out. So that's what the in-house team is. It's like a family. So then you can now have answers to most of your questions, and then it will help to kind of guide you. So if just like you've already done the Prince 2, so now you can now come on board. You can now do the Scrum Master certification, okay, the Agile certification. If it's the Product Owner certification, those are also there. You also do those, and then it's going to be very helpful for you. So that's just what I can say for now. But you need to come on board. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other question? We are almost out of time. We are always time boxed. Any question from any other person?
Ayo has his hands up. Ayo,
Ayo.
you want to say something, or have you spoken already?
Hello.
Hi.
I think this question is for Olawumi, or if you can take it, Wealth.
No
The
worries.
thing is, like, I've got a little knowledge about Scrum Master, BA, software testing, all those kind of IT thing. And now seeing this project management, I think I kind of have like a liking to it. So now I don't know if this is the best way to go or to start from Scrum Mastering. But in all honesty, I prefer this one. And, as someone that has never worked in this kind of environment and I go for an interview, will I be caught out? That's the thing.
Mm.
So I don't know.
I totally understand where you're coming from because, most of the interviews that I've been through, being a PM is actually very helpful. And a PM with Scrum Master knowledge is added advantage actually because you're speaking from uh, an area of knowledge where they understand that this is a PM and he is experienced when it comes to Scrum mastery. So it's an advantage. Well, I think I would say since you have a little knowledge when it comes to the cross-functional team, Scrum, BA, and all that, fine. You could go for the PA, you could go for the PM role because I think from what Laomi said, it's intertwined within these cohorts. So it's going to be like a PM, Scrum Master. So they are mixing everything together. And then during the program, there will be special delivery on some of these, some of these courses. Just like some of the things that I've mentioned now, there might be a time when I will I will have to come in and discuss how to track a project. Okay, as a project manager, as a Scrum Master, both of them. How do you track your project and how do you track your team delivery? So that might just be the topic, and then we'll look at it with examples. And then maybe you're on a project, and then with that project, you should be able to track the progress. So what do you do? What sort of KPI do you use? What sort of chart do you use? So those are part of it. So I think you can just go for the SMPM role.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're
Thanks.
welcome. Any other person, please?
Yes, please. This is Mercy here. Thank you so much for your time and for presenting the course this evening. My question is quite related to what the last speaker asked. I actually wanted to know the scope for this project management course, because that's what I want to choose. And it wasn't very clear to me what I'm going to get out of it. If you can just refresh that. Thank you.
Okay. Well, just like Olaomi did mention, the I think the past cohorts, PM was separated. We separated PM from the Scrum Masters and the other roles. And because the reason why we can't just separate PM alone is because of the numbers. We need a reasonable number for us to say, okay, fine, PM. If assuming we have like 20, 30 different that says, oh, they want to go for PM. Yes, we can now focus on PM. And when we focus on PM, it's going to be a whole lot in the sense that we're going to run through all the different phases and all your roles and what is expected, all the different roles. How do you manage those roles? And then what sort of tools do you use to manage those roles? Looking at a particular project, you will use that project to run through those different responsibilities. You understand? So that you'll be able to start from initiation to project closure. So that when you're being interviewed, you can boldly say, yes, each of those parts you've actually gone through it, because those are the kind of things that they'll be asking you. So I will say, when it comes to the scope, for PM, because this cohort is going to be PM and Scrum Master, so I will say it's mixed. So I can't give the full scope for PM now. Will definitely not work for it, if you get what I mean. So it's not going to be the full scope for PM.
It's like a hybrid.
Yes,
That's fine.
okay. You use the word hybrid, yes, but it's going to be advantageous to you in the sense that you are mixing both the SM and the PM experience together.
I think that's better.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Just to let you know, PM is a very huge and sensitive role, right? For you, Omi, that you said you just did the Prince 2 and you understand what I mean. Because if you're going to be tailoring a project to a particular, when you're talking of PM roles, we're talking of waterfall, more side of things and traditional. And in Blue Sky, we are sort of more focused in the agile space. But every two or three cohorts, we bring in a different specialist for this PM in full that will take you all the steps of this Prince 2. But still, you need to still acknowledge that it's a very big role normally. So even when people do it, they tilt towards getting maybe a PMO role or something, then before they grow into PM itself. But at least you're already in the workspace. I don't know if you get what I mean. Because it's difficult for you to go get an interview. Just try to be very clear. It's difficult to go get an interview straight on and somebody will hand over a PM role to you like PM, right? An APM can be, an ADM can be, an SM can be, but a full PM role, that's a full, it's like me saying I want to do Heathrow, maybe Heathrow extension, and I carry the project, give you. No, those projects comes with big referrals, big, you understand? So it's not a role that, because it's on the waterfall side of things. Please do not get me wrong. I'm just trying to be very explicit.
Maybe.
So when we have that right number, then we usually will bring, that external guy plus us in here to mentor you and guide you towards that role. And just to, bring it up a bit, I also studied project management. I have one or two of my classmates that actually, got more like PMO roles. It was only one person that got a PM role in a very small company. When I mean very small company, you can count the number of staff there. You get what I mean? But if you want to work in a proper, organization like, NHS or something, a bigger company, you might not easily get that kind of role, easily. I'm just trying to be very plain. And so that was what made other, us get experiences in other roles, to grow. But some people grew into it. So PM is actually a role you grow into gradually. You don't just, one might be lucky, like I said, and that lady, for example, that is already in that space, though it was a small company, nobody will hold you to say, oh, it's a 3-man company or a 4-man company. You get what I mean? And with that, you started growing gradually on it. So it's not a role that you just. But the only thing I can say, like I said, it's going to be a bit hybrid. But the only thing we'll just try to help you do, we have past recordings. I think earlier this year, yeah, past recordings of those sessions we can send to you just to brush you up a bit, like the lady that just did foundation now, for example, and all that. That one is the the um objective question, that's multiple choice questions. That one you see, what you actually learned in those whole video. You'll be like, oh yeah, this is pretty super proper. So we can just help you gather those videos and send to you guys, just to help you guys understand where I'm coming from. It's a big role. If I want to construct the road from M60 down, to you, I'll just see Omi, and it's Omi I want to give. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bringing, I'm just saying those roads are coming from referral of, oh, he's the one that built M1. Oh yeah, come do M60. You get what I mean? They are huge roles. But however, there are smaller projects that are more in the line of the agile side of things. That's why you now start hearing APM. It's more like a role to associate with. ADM is more like a role to associate with before you can now start thinking of, okay, the Scrum Masters and all that. All these roles I've mentioned are sort of leadership roles and all. So let's just take it one step at a time. Let's not shoot wealth to hold in the neck. But I hope you guys get the gist now. To get a concurrence, to be sure you understand where I'm coming from. I'm just trying to be very, very transparent so you understand. But however, if we get a good number, just go ahead for PM directly. We can still bring him in, it's not a problem. But I think it should just be rather fair to say we're tilting towards the hybrid already. That's the plan we have on ground. Towards the hybrid, you'll be doing more of the Scrum Mastery role, and in between, we'll take you through the project management so you have a good overview of project management. Thank you. All good? All clear?
Hi,
No worries.
sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi.
And I think some of these big companies too, because they've realized the big nature of the PM role, so they are now bringing in junior project managers. Yeah, like the
I
NHS.
forgot to mention
Yeah,
junior project managers, yeah?
yeah, they do. Like the NHS, National Grid, if you go through their site, you will see junior project managers. So don't worry, there's still hope. Okay. When you get on board and you learn what you can learn, those knowledge will also help you wherever you go to. That's the truth. So any other question, please?
Hi, please. Sorry. My name is Josephine.
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Ibi
Yes,
had a hand, or his or her hand up first. So they'll need to go first. Sorry.
It's a her.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So I hear you when you say, product manager is such of a big role, big shoes to fill. You need to have some kind of experience, understand the BA, the Scrum Master. My question is this. If we log into the internship program for one of these, say Scrum Master or business analysis, but my final focus is to learn project management, what's the time frame? How do you structure this? Because from what you said earlier, the internships are like 3 months. So if I'm trying to understand the basics, or with my focus being to graduate into project manager, how long is this going to take?
Well, for how long it's going to take, from what I'm getting now, it's like there's so many questions around project management. It's like more than half of you are quite interested in the PM role, which is beautiful because I must say there's so
So maybe we have enough numbers already.
yeah, that's what because the truth is PM is PM. The Scrum Master is Scrum Master. We're just trying to make it hybrid so that you can learn a bit of both because most of the principles still boils down to the same thing. But PM, they have their own, it's if you want to be focusing on the waterfall side of things, it's elaborate. Okay, there's so much to look into there, but it's something that just like Olaomi did mention can be handled. We've done it before. Okay, but we don't just want you to think that it's going to be PM all through for the training. No, it's going to be agile. Okay, our focus is on agile. But while you are learning this, there's going to be PM experience also that you will learn across what we're learning. So it's not as if you're going to graduate and then you now move to PM totally, except like she said, if you want to go PM, we're going to fix PM roles and then it's going to be PM roles. And then we will train you as a PM. And while we're even doing that, fine, you will even see the agile side of things to PM. Because these days, most companies with PM, they are transitioning to agile also. So some companies you will see, if you look at some advert, they'll tell you they want a PM with agile and waterfall experience. They want someone with both experience. So that because I've done interview where they asked me, can you tell me an example of a project that you handled using waterfall and another project that you handled using agile? Just because they want to assess my experience when it comes to both. Okay, so that's what I can really say here. It's not going to be PM all through, but if we have enough number, which I think we're going to work on this week or next week, we're going to see how many of you that are interested. If those of you that are interested in just PM, fine, you can just reach out to allow me or yeah, and let her just know so that if it's something that they want to uh they want to look into, fine. It's doable. We've done it before. So it's it's something that can be looked into, but with the current plan, that's not in the plan, okay? It's not in
Thank
the
you. I
plan.
understand. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Next person, please.
Well, add the video, like I said. We'll ensure we send those videos to you so that you will see it. You see it from, I think, earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken. You see the videos for pure project management, so you understand, where we're coming from. Yeah, don't worry, we'll work on that and send it to you guys. I think we'll say this another time in a casual way. Yeah,
Yeah.
proceed, please. Just finish.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, I have an MBA in strategic project management, but I'm trying to like feature into either Scrum Master and Agile in Nigeria. What's your best take on this, please?
Yeah, since you already have you already have the, is it master's or first degree?
Masters.
Masters, okay. Yeah, well, you already have that. So I would just suggest that you go for the SM, okay?
Okay.
Because the truth is, what I did was to come in for the SM, and then when I came in after the normal 3 months, I just graduated into um, the advanced team because we also have the team called the advanced. Okay. So, which I will encourage any one of you that is even doing the first 3 months, when you do it, make sure that your target is to come into the advance because the advance is even where we make managers as in big time. And so when you come to advance, you see ADM, seniors, this, senior that, every one of us gisting and drinking coffee together with project, you know. So that's just how it is. But yeah, you can come in as a SM. So by the time you go through your project, you're successful after the 3 months, nobody will even tell you. You will want to jump into the advanced team, and then it is going to help you with your interviews and even when you start work, we have people, they've started working, they keep calling, oh please, I have this issue, they've asked me to do this at work, please, has anybody done this? And then and people will just come on, oh yeah, this is how you do it, why don't you just use this tool, why don't you do this, oh I have a copy. So that's how we roll here, and it's a family thing, and
Oh,
it's
thank you
beautiful.
so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So the next person, please, before we wrap it up. We are 18 minutes.
Okay, it's me again. Okay, I think now I understand something. When we say project management, it's really about the waterfall thing, isn't it? Then when we say about ADM, APM, it's about agile. Okay, now, because I know that most companies are going into the agile part, so maybe I'm interested in the ADM, not the project management, which is the waterfall traditional one. So I think it's the ADM I'm interested in.
Okay. No
I think
worries.
you just sort of got the gist now. Sorry to interrupt, Walt. I think you just sort of got the gist now in the sense that project management is the biggest umbrella, right?
Yeah.
Under project management, there are two main methodologies. There are other smaller ones that people don't even know exist, right? So the methodology is waterfall or the traditional project management and agile project management. Those are the main two, right? So under agile project management, that's where everybody's transitioning to. And the reason is just because you do things iteratively. When we say iteratively, in bits, small by small and incrementally, it helps you save time, costs, and resources in general. Whereas in the waterfall side of things, it's still very good, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of planning already in place. But if something goes wrong, they usually find out at the end. and a lot of money would have gone, at that time. So most people are tilting towards the agile side of things. Those that are still experts in, the traditional ways still do it. Like I said, that we are moving to agile or anything does not mean traditional is bad. So the long and short is that when we're saying just pure project management, people look towards, waterfall, agile side of things, more of construction and all that. Whereas when we're talking of the other methodologies, which is agile, yes, then we now tilt towards lots of frameworks that are now under it. So those frameworks, that's where you now start hearing Scrum, Kanban, Lean, XP, Safe, all those kind of things. They are now the frameworks that are under projects, agile project management, right? They are all under the big umbrella of project management. So don't get it twisted. All right. Thank you so much. Do you want to pause the recording?